You got to, before you come on, you got to quickly take your mask off, run over. You know, you got to do things like that. And oh, Jesus. All right, I just want to make sure you see me okay. Do you remember what talk show host and comedian did that? That's how he starts some of his shows. Post it in COVID breath. Yeah. Entire audience virtually. Thank you, Ian. What comedian did that? That was sometimes his opener. He would do that little stunt. Do you remember? Post in the chat if you remember that comedian / talk show host. Okay, I'll let you guys think about it real quick. No, it was actually Dave Letterman. Dave Letterman would occasionally, yep, there it is. I saw it coming in. Dave Letterman, right? Do you remember that? Dave Letterman would do that. You know how powerful that was? He was the only talk show host doing that. People didn't do that. When you talked to a camera, you sat in your spot, you did the positions, but he was walking up to the camera and doing that. It was funny, it was engaging, it was different. That's the lesson I want to share with you today. I'm working my new book, Different is Better, and seeking what makes us stand out in marketing. What gives us the leg up every single time, and it's being different. I want to ask you a question. I want you to post in the chat. Give me a sense on percentages. What would you say? What percentage of your business is word of mouth, client referral? An existing client refers you to some business. How much business are you getting that way? 100%, 98%, 80%, awesome. 75%, 90%, 100%, 80s, 50%, 95, like really high numbers, almost 100%, 88%, 100%. If you answered 80% or more, why don't you realize 80% or more of your business is determined at whim, right? I mean, the customers have to make the recommendation. You can't throttle up your marketing. You can't throttle it down. You don't have control. For the vast majority of businesses I've been studying, almost all their business comes out of referral. And it feels great, and it is great, but it is the icing on the cake. It is surely not the cake because we don't have control. Let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to be critical here. I just want to have you to have a clear observation. How much of your business, now if 100% of your business is through referral, how much of your business comes through content? Is it the remaining, so let's put this, the remaining business is through content, meaning your website content, maybe YouTube videos and stuff like that. What is it, all the remaining? Is that the two primary sources, referral and that? Give me a sense. Zero content, 10%. Yeah, tell me, is it the remaining content? So I'm the remaining source of marketing. Is it your content itself? Not the remaining speaking. Yeah. Okay, so I want to share with you what I discovered to be the 3 most common forms of lead generation. It's word of mouth. For most businesses, it's over 80% of their business. Number 2 is content, their own website, posting on blogs, posting on YouTube, and producing content. Number 3 usually is not there. You know, that's the 2 primary sources of marketing. And in both cases, it's what's called passive marketing. We're not actively seeking out opportunity. We can't throttle up and throttle it down. So what I want to share with you is a strategy to do exactly that. Again, word of mouth is awesome, but it is icing on the cake. How do we start making cakes? Here it is. We're going to use a strategy called different. Now, I've shared this before, but maybe you haven't heard it, and I think it's critically important. Different triggers people's attention. I'm going to give you a little technical background on this, but at the base of our brain, right where the spine meets the brainstem, is a thing called the reticular formation. You may have heard of elements of the reticular activating system, something that's propagated by Tony Robbins and so forth talks about this system. When you see something, you start noticing it. When it's important to you, you notice it more often. Well, the reticular formation serves that component, but there's other elements of it. It is a net, like a literal and figurative net over the top of the spine, the brainstem, and its primary job function is to ignore. Its primary job function is to simply ignore. And the reason is because there's so many stimulus that are constantly coming to us. Remember Don Miller's presentation? He talked about this. We have to be concise because our brain is designed not to burn calories. So That means we need to ignore. There's so many different stimulus you could look at right now in your space. You can choose to pay attention to what I'm sharing and taking notes. And if you're doing that, it's because your mind is actually effectively ignoring the 1,000 other things you could look at. Oh, the paint on the wall. Why did I pick that color? How do you make color? And it just goes on and on and on. The Zoom broadcast. This is interesting. Cool technology. Who ever thought of the word cool? Is there an inventor of cool? Was he cool at the time, or was he a she? Like, it could just go on and on and on. So our brain is designed, if it's something we are already familiar with, it simply can be ignored. If it's familiar and no consequence, it can simply be ignored. The vast majority of things in our world can be ignored. But there's a few things that can't be ignored. First of all, if it's a threat. If someone walks your room right now with a knife, I strongly suspect you will notice and you'll take action. I'm sure you won't say, excuse me, listening to Mike speak right now. Can't get murdered. Of course not. Secondly, what if an opportunity presents itself? Someone just plops down a stack of $100 bills on your desk and says, love the work you're doing for me. This is a gift for you. I'm sure you're going to address that situation. But there's a third element, something that's unignorable, and it's the unexpected, something that you don't know if it's an opportunity or a threat. You've never seen it before. You see that reticular formation, the net prioritizes threats first. If it's putting your way in harm, it's going to avoid it. It then looks for opportunities, and it looks at the unignorable, meaning when something is not known, it must be quantified as a threat, an opportunity, or something that can be ignored in the future. The opportunity to market, to take control of your marketing, is by being unignorable, to do things that are unexpected. It guarantees you attention every single time. Now, it doesn't guarantee you long-term attention. The average attention span on something that's unignorable, that's unexpected, is about half a second. So I can guarantee you attention for half a second. But you know what? That's a whole lot more time than most marketing gets. Most marketing gets zero attention because it's ignorable. There's another function in the reticular formation called habituation. Habituation is where we experience something to a certain degree of frequency that we then know what it is without having to consciously evaluate it. In the chat, I'm curious, who here, do you remember the first time you got an email that said, hey friend? I remember my first time. Do you remember that? Post in that chat. I remember my first hey friend. I got an email years and years back. It said, hey friend. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen an email that started off with hey friend. Does a friend, I can't even think of what friend this is, but the fact that my friend is calling me a friend is so friendly. This is amazing. Hey friend, what do you have to say to me? Oh, and then they went on to do their scammy, slammy, spammy email. The second hey friend I got, I was like, is this a friend or is this a spammer? By the third email, I had habituated to it. Hey friend was a rapid delete opportunity, something ignorable. You see, did you experience that, the hey friends, that the first one or two got your attention and then you became habituated to it? You knew it was ignorable? Yeah. Okay. I see lots of that. Yep. Thanks, Liz Sporn, for participating. She's yelling in the background. She says, I'm paying attention. She's angling for a bonus right now. But here's how habituation works. The first time you see it, you pay attention to it. Your mind qualifies opportunity or threat or ignorable. And in those hey friend situations, they made themselves ignorable. Our job as profit first professionals is to first gain attention for 0.5 seconds and then show it as an opportunity. And once it's shown as an opportunity, to direct our clients on what to do. The strategy I want you to use, it's a simple acronym. It's DAD, D-A-D. In fact, we're going to share a worksheet in the chat right now. Let me grab it off camera there. But this is what it looks like. I'm going to hold it a little bit close, but this is the sheet. Oops, I have it upside down. That was different itself. So it looks like this, but this is the Div Experience Sheets. This is the work I've been doing over the last 5 years. This is iteration number 16. And this will walk you through the process. So I'm going to explain what this is. Gabe, I see Gabe is saying, love Dad. He used a system. We had some communication this morning. Gabe was sharing last night too, how he used this process to get, I think, 5 or 6 industry influencers, prospects of his, engaged. in 1 week or 2 weeks, in 2 weeks by using this principle. And we all have this opportunity. I'm, in the time we have, going to share with you a couple simple strategies you can use, but let me walk you through these blocks. And over the months to come, I'll be working personally with mastery members, but we'll also be sharing these strategies with all members. The first stage is what? We have to be very clear on who our target customer is, the offer we have, and the problem that it solves for them. You have to know who you're targeting. Right now, and be honest, this is a judgment-free zone. In the chat, can you identify your 25 best prospects right now, who they are? Just post in the chat. Nope, I heard a no. I'm judging you, Jennifer. Why don't you know them? I'm kidding. I said judgment-free. Now everyone's like, oh yeah, I know who they are. Lots of nopes. You know what? That's totally cool for the next 10 minutes or the next day, but it's not cool starting next week. We have to know who we're targeting. When you know the target customers, we can speak to them specifically, directly. You can show them why your offer is remarkable. And I'll give you a shortcut to find your 25 quick prospects by Monday. Look at your number one client you have today and look at their competition. Generally, you'll see clones of them, different variations of them. Maybe target the competition. There's more significant ways to do it. Speak with Donna Lyons and Pumpkin Plan. You can use those strategies, but the real simple shortcut is look at your number one customer and look for their copycats. Okay, then once you know who your 25 customers are, for example, what's your offer that's unique to them, and then what problem does it solve? Then we move on to the 3 stages I shared with you, the DAD. First of all, is your marketing different to them? 2 questions you can ask yourself. How is it delivered? Meaning, is there a way it's presented to them that's unexpected, unique? And is it unignorable? Look at how your competition currently markets. However they currently market, that's the common approach. That's been habituated. It won't work anymore. What can you do that's different? Let me give you an example that I did with a security company. The security company, we identified their top 25 prospects. If they landed just one of these prospects, it would improve their revenue annually by over 10%, a massive opportunity. That's usually what the top 25 prospects will do for you. You land 1, 10% boost. You land 2, 20% boost. You land 5, your company's gone up by 50% in its growth. 5 out of 25. So we looked at what most security companies do, and what most security companies do is they email you like everybody else. Maybe they leave a voicemail like everybody else, or maybe they send you a postcard. So we said, well, that's the ways not to market. Look at the way your competition is currently marketing. Look at the way you're currently marketing, the obvious stuff, and that's probably the ways that have been habituated and can't be continued. So what we did this for a security company is we simply made a box. We sent within this box was a set of binoculars and a note. It says, we want to be your security company, and we are ready to work starting immediately. Check out your window. And you would receive this box. They knew where the CEO was, and they put a sign in the property on the outskirts, in public domain, where the sidewalk was, with a sign says, yes, we are this ready. And they had a security guard just standing out there waiting. Call us at this number. Remarkable, different, unexpected, unignorable. You have the same opportunities to stand out. I want to tell you, as a Profit First professional, you've heard me say this ad nauseum, but are you doing this? You can start just by changing your label. If you're an accountant, if you're a bookkeeper, or you're a coach, you've defined what's been habituated. Everyone knows what it is. It's ignorable. But the second you present yourself as a Profit First professional, I'm a profit advisor. If you can get your clients to say, what does that mean? That means you haven't been habituated. It means you have a 0.5-second window to attract them. That's the next stage, attractive. People, when they're attracted to something, they want to know it's an opportunity. The first thing that's going to come to their mind, is this safe? Meaning, is it not a threat? Once it's safe, does it serve? The 2 questions of attraction, is it safe? Is it serving? So when you do something that's unignorable for your prospects, you have to instantly show that it's safe. How do you show it's safe? By saying, I've done this for countless others, or I'm in the same community as you. It's funny, John Gordon won me over when he says, I had a bestseller in South Korea. I was like, oh my gosh, so have I. I didn't realize it. First of all, that was a funny line by John Gordon, but second, I felt connection. There's a common bond. Building an affinity and a common bond is so critical, and you must do it right away. It's the I get you. It's, as Don Miller shares, it's when you show yourself as the guide because you've been there and you've experienced it and you have a solution. You've got to get that across. You have a 0.5-second window of attention. Right away, you got to show that you get them and that you're an opportunity, that you're here to serve them, that you're going to move them from an uncomfortable spot to a comfortable spot. That's attractive. And the third element is you must be direct. You must give them specific direction. Is there a reasonable call to action? And is there a specific call to action? You know, that security company could send out a message on the sign that says, we're ready to work for you. Please deposit $10,000 right now. I don't think that goes so well. That's an unreasonable ask. The second sign, they could put a sign that says, we want to be your security company. We'll be here for the next 6 months to prove how badly we want it. That's probably an ineffective one. Instead, it says, we're ready to protect you starting today. Please call us here. And they had the specific number, which went right to the CEO's cell phone, and she was ready to take action. Be specific, be direct. There's another element people need to do, that we need to do, and it's the ROI. Making sure we're good on time. We have about a few more minutes. The ROI right here is the return on investment. What are you spending per engagement opportunity, per prospect, to get your marketing across? We just rolled out a plan. Actually, Gabe was kind enough to share the results he was getting. We just rolled out with Mastery members, but it's available to everyone. It's a mailing campaign using books. But the analysis is this. If it costs you $30 for a prospect and you have 10 prospects or 25 prospects you're going after, we're talking about a $750 investment. What does one engagement get you in return? Does it get you $10? Well, if you close everybody, it's not worth it. Does it get you $1,000? What's the lifetime value? $10,000? Well, if you can get that conversion, then it is worth it. We need to do this return on investment analysis. What's it cost? What's the return that we expect? And then simply do the next stage. And is it working out as expected? You know, the funniest thing I found about being different? It's scary. Most people don't do it. I actually would argue competition won't even do it. And that's why it's the greatest opportunity. I was curious. Over 10 years, I've been researching and trying to figure out different is better. For the last 3 years, I've been actively asking people to do these different tests and so forth. And the enthusiasm is high. The execution, extraordinarily low, shockingly low. And it confused me for so long. Why do so many people want to be different but aren't doing it? Here's what I found out. We all want to be different. We just don't want to be differentiated from our group. We all want to stand out without standing out, because then you put yourself at risk. You know, what if you do something different, people make fun? Tribe says, he presented it on now, center. All baseball teams, all the teams right now actively providing or doing their games. Only 5 teams have attendance at their stadiums. Only 1 team has people still attending. All COVID compliant. It's the Savannah Bananas. The major leagues have, I think they have cardboard cutouts in the stadium. That team, the Savannah Bananas, is more profitable than all teams combined on a dollar basis in the all-star leagues. On a percentage basis, they're more profitable than some of the major league teams, actually many of them, because he had the courage to do different. He was scrutinized and criticized by the people around him. He was made fun of by the community that now loves him because he was the first to do different. And now he's reaping all the rewards. My question for you is this. If you're going to do different, are you willing to overcome the scrutiny? Is it more important to you to fit in with your existing tribe than it is to excel above the tribe and find a new community? That's the question you need to answer. It's a real gut check right now. And you can say it. You can say you're 100% ready. I see you, Tina. I feel you. Or you can say I'm not ready, but I just want you to investigate it. We can continue to fight for mediocrity by letting clients refer us, by hoping our content sells, or you can be the elite profit first professional in your community if you decide to be different. Me, I choose different. Hope you choose it too.